Financial Aid 101: How to Apply for FAFSA on the Web. This course is for students and their parents. This course will teach you about the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA. This form must be filled out annually by current and anticipating universe students. You are an anticipating universe student, and congratulations. So this form needs to be filled out, first of all, annually. And like I said, by the current and anticipating universe students. And this will be for graduate and undergrad students. But right now, you will be considered an undergrad student. And sometimes their parents in the United States, to determine their eligibility for financial aid, is do so by the taxes that your parents will file for this year. So this is the reason why they will be introducing to filling out the FAFSA. So let's get started. The Financial Aid Office at Dorrit administers more than $36 million in financial aid annually, and 98% of students receive some form of financial aid. So more than likely, this will be you. You will be considered that 98% of students that will receive some form of financial aid. So parents, how will you pay for college? Do you have any savings for their college? If you don't, FAFSA will be the way for you to fill out on the internet to see what your kids will be granted as far as financial aid. So let's take a look at it. Will you pay for schools by using loans? Will they get into school because of their grades? Will they get scholarships to go to school? And will you use grants to pay for school? Now, as far as your grants and your scholarships go and your loans, FAFSA will also be able to determine what loans and grants you will be entitled to once your FAFSA has been processed. Now, your grades. Some students that have a high GPA normally can get a full ride or something paid partially towards their tuition to cover their schooling. So grades would be a great way for some students to get financial help for school. But this is not always the case. Sometimes there's not just enough money for students with high GPAs to go to school. If you are awarded a half scholarship for a high GPA, you still have to come up with the rest of the money in order to pay for school. So this is where your FAFSA is going to come through. So today is the day. We're going to talk about filling out the FAFSA. And what I'm going to do is walk you step by step from signing up for a PIN to making an account to signing and submitting your FAFSA. So let's get started. First things first, I need for you to grab a notebook and a pen because you're going to be writing some things down throughout this session today. And I want to make sure that you record the important stuff that you don't forget. So the first thing that I want you to write down is the web address for filling out the FAFSA. And that's going to be www.fafsa.edu.gov. You want to make sure that you write this web address down because anytime that you need to make changes to your FAFSA, anytime you need to check your FAFSA to make sure that it's processed, you're going to come to this website and sign in to check the process of your application. So please, please make sure that you write this web address down. Okay. So now that you have the web address, once you enter that web address into the browser, you're going to be taken to this web page. And this is the actual page for filling out your free application for federal student aid. So the first thing that you want to do is click on Get Started. As soon as you get clicked on Get Started, it's going to ask you to sign up for a PIN. So with my parents and my students, with this being the first time that you're filling out a FAFSA, you're going to have to apply for a PIN. And it's very easy to apply for a PIN. You're going to click on this Apply Now. Once you click on that Apply Now, the next page that you're going to be looking at is your actual application for your pen. As soon as you sign up for your pen, you will have access to your pen that day. And if you look on the side here, I do have the web address for the pen, because if any time you forget your pen, you can retrieve your pen the same day by entering in your first initial, your last name, and your social, and click on submit. It's going to ask you whether you want it to be emailed or do you want it to be displayed on the page, and you will be able to display the pen right there on the page. So anytime that you forget your pen, you want to go to www.pen.ed.gov/penwebapp. All right. So once you finish applying for your pen, you want to come back to the FAFSA homepage, and you want to click on Start a New FAFSA. This is going to allow you to start the application process, being that you are a rising freshman, college freshman. You want to just go ahead and click on Start a New FAFSA. As soon as you click on Start a New FAFSA, you're going to be brought to the login page, and this is where you're going to enter the student's name, parents. So I need to be very clear. Once we start this application, the first thing that we're going to start filling out is information for the student. So you're going to enter the student's first name, then you're going to enter the student's last name, the social security number, and the student's date of birth. As soon as you enter this information on this screen, you're going to click on your next right here. All right, so now that we've started an account, we've started an account for Jackie Brown. We've entered her first name, her last name, her social, and her date of birth. So as soon as we open up the account, we're gonna be asked a couple of questions here. Are we attending college? And they're gonna ask you, are you attending college between July 1st, 2013 and June 30th, 2014, or between July 1st, 2012 and June 30th, 2013. We're going to click on July 1st, 2013 and July 30th, 2014, because by the time June 30th gets here, you will actually be graduating from high school, so you will not be eligible to apply for this FAFSA because you won't be in school then. So we're going to apply for the FAFSA in blue. So the box there in blue, you're going to click on Start 2013-2014 FAFSA. All right. So before we actually get started on this page, notice that I have my notebook and my pencil icon down here. We're starting to create the account now, so it's very important to write down your password. And this page right here is asking you to create a password. So you want to make sure whatever password that you put here, you want to make sure that you put that password down on your notebook to make sure that you can keep up with it, because your student is going to have to sign in with that password. So it's very important that you write your password down. As soon as we have your password entered, the next page that you're going to be looking at is the introduction page. And your introduction page is basically going to be an information page for you. You'll be able to get help with completing your FAFSA. You'll be able to have steps to take to complete your FAFSA. You'll also find information on how long it takes to complete this FAFSA, and then how can you save your FAFSA if you don't finish it. Then you also have documents needed to complete the FAFSA, and then signing the FAFSA, and then FAFSA on web security privacy. I do want to let everyone know, while you're entering your information, there is web security, meaning you do have privacy, so no one will be able to get your information off of this site without you knowing. So now we're going to start filling out the student demographic information. So this information basically deals with the student-only parents. So it's going to be very important that you make sure that you're only entering the information for the student and not yourself. So we're going to make sure that we enter their first, last name, and that middle initial, the social security number, the date of birth. You want to make sure you select the radio button for male or female, and then you want to go ahead and put your mailing address. As soon as you have that information in, you want to make sure that you answer the question, have lived in Alabama for at least 5 years. Yes. You want to give a permanent telephone number. You want to make sure that you have an email address. You want to make sure that you re-enter your email address. And then you want to go ahead and click the marital status of the student. This is not yourself, this is the marital status of the student, and we're going to automatically pick single. And then, do they have a driver's license, yes or no? As soon as you have entered that information, you're going to be brought to the student eligibility page. So this is where you're going to start answering questions to make sure that the student is actually eligible to apply for financial aid. So now you're going to answer these series of questions that you see here on this page. Now, just to show you what will happen if you don't answer a question on the page, I'm going to show you the next slide you're going to see will actually be a error message that you get once something is not filled out on the form correctly. So notice that now we have a error message, and it's letting us know where the error is. Also, look at the red icon. This red icon is going to be right beside the question that we did not answer. So notice that it's by our third question, and it's asking, when you begin the 2013-2014 school year, what will be your grade level? Notice that we have to answer that. So I went ahead and answered it, and I said attended college before first year, because this is actually the student's first year in college. Now, can you take a look at the screen and see if we've answered all the questions? Because it's going to be very important that you, as the parent and the student, are double checking your work to make sure that you've answered everything, because the process will be longer to fill out the application if you have to keep going back to answer questions you didn't answer. So this is just showing you where we didn't answer the question and where we answered the question now. So now notice that we have another error here, and it's at the bottom of the page where we didn't select one of our radio buttons. So have you ever received federal student aid? It is very important to answer this question, because this also determines how much money will be rewarded to you for your financial aid for college. So since this is your first year, you have never received financial aid, so you want to make sure you click on the radio button no. Now we're going to continue the student eligibility, and now we're going to enter our high school information. So now we're still confirming that we are an eligible student to receive financial aid. We have to confirm the high school that we're in currently right now as the student. So notice that I have my high school here, Ashford High School, and now I've confirmed it here. Now we're going to click on our next button, and the next page that we're going to look at is our school selection for college. Now the student is going to go ahead and select the state. Now if you select the state and click search, it's going to give you every college in that state. Now if you already know the federal school code, meaning that you've already picked out the schools that you want your financial aid to go to, they should have sent you a federal code, and you're going to enter that federal code in the box and click search. Once you see your federal code, you're going to click in that box to select that school, and that is going to determine where your financial aid report is going to be sent to process your monies for school. So we're going to click on Alabama, and notice that the next page that we get once we click on the submit will be all the colleges in Alabama. So I'm just going to select 5 to add. Now, I do want to let everyone know this is where the student activity will come in play. Once the parent and the students write down each federal code, it's going to be very important that you get in contact with your counselor, Shamika Gooms. She is going to actually take those federal codes, and she's going to go ahead and send an official transcript to that school just in case you decide to go to that school. So it's very important to make sure that you write down your federal school codes so we can make sure that we go ahead and send the proper information now from your high school as far as your official transcript. So once your information is there, they have your transcript as well. So parents, please make sure that your student turns in the federal school codes to the counselor once this activity is done. Thank you. So now we're going to add the colleges. So we're going to add Alabama Southern Community College, Alabama State University, Armridge University, Athens State University, Auburn University, Auburn University Montgomery, and Birmingham Southern College. So now we're going to select our housing plans. And since we stay in Georgia and you're not going to be staying home, you're going to be actually staying on campus. So all of your housing plans need to say on campus. So you're going to change that by clicking on that drop down box, and you're going to go ahead and select on campus. So your school selection summary should look like this as far as your housing plan. On campus, on campus, on campus, on campus, on campus. Now we're going to click our next button. As soon as we click our next button, the system is going to start determining if we are a dependent. So you're going to answer, your parent is going to answer these series of questions that pertain to you as a student. So once these questions are answered, the system is going to go ahead and make a determination if you are a dependent. So I do want to point out one thing before we move to the next page. Notice at the top of my page, I have a green check mark with a green highlighted box. This is allowing you as the parent and the student to know that your application is being saved while you're working on it. So no, you don't have to click a save button to save the process of your application. The system is already saving your application with each click. So that's another great thing. So now that we've answered those questions, the system is going to kick back a dependency status result for us. And this is going to let us know if our parents need to fill out information on their part or if we can apply as an independent student. Now, that will not actually be used for any of the students here because all of their parents do work and they do depend on their parents for support. So a lot of our students will be applying for financial aid with the help of their parents. So notice the message that we have here. It says, based on your answer to the dependency status questions, you are considered a dependent student. This means that you must provide parental information. Select I will provide parental information and click next to continue the parent demographics. So once I click on my next button, now I'm going to start filling out the information as a parent for the student. So I do want you to notice once again, we are saving the application as we go. And the system is always going to let you know that you are saving the application because you're going to see your green check mark icon with this highlighted box, and it's going to read the message, application was successfully saved. Now we're going to start entering information as far as the parent demographic information. So now you want to select the parent status as of today. You want to make sure that you give a good email address. Then you also have to answer if you've lived in Georgia for the past 5 years. And then you also have to give the household size. So we're going to click next. And once I enter that information, it's going to take me to the parent tax information. So as a parent now, this is where the system is going to determine how much financial will be given to the student during their school years based on what I make as a parent. So I'm going to answer these questions here. And notice that it's saying for 2012, as your mother completed her IRS, income tax, or another return. I'm going to go ahead and click already completed because the tax season is over with and I've already filed my taxes. Now don't worry for my parents that have not filed a tax. You will be able to drop that box down and you'll be able to choose from the options I will file or I've filed amended taxes. So don't worry if you have not filed your taxes already. Once you have completed that question, you're going to come down and it says you're the mother may be able to use the IRS data retrieval tool. So let's say that you've already submitted your taxes and you submitted your taxes electronically. You will be able to click on link to the IRS button that you see down there. Once you click to that IRS button, it's going to take you to a new page. And all you have to do is enter your first initial and your last name and your social security number. And it's going to pull up your information as far as what you filed for your taxes. Now, once it pulls up the information, it's going to ask you, would you like to import this to your FAFSA application? You're going to click on yes. Now, for my parents that did not file their taxes electronically, don't worry because you'll be able to enter your information in manually, and I'll be able to show you this on the next screen. So now we're going to enter the information manually for my parents that was not able to link to the IRS website to have their taxes imported into the FAFSA application. So now you're going to go to the parent financial information and you want to just go ahead and answer those questions. You want to enter what tax return did you file? Was it a 1040 EZ or 1040? What was your adjusted income tax for 2012? And how much did the parent earn? And was your mother a dislocated worker? So now after you answer those questions, you're going to be brought to the parent financial information, which is continued from the first page. Now this is where you're going to actually enter your mother's income, and your mother is going to enter this information. Then you're going to enter the mother is going to enter their exempt for 2012. So now we're going to have to answer a series of questions here. So the first series of questions we're going to answer is, was child support paid? Was any of these financial information given to you? The next series of questions that we're going to ask answer would be the payment of tax deferred pensions from child support received. The mother is going to have to answer these questions. Once these questions have been answered, then the system wants to know how much is in your mother's savings, checking, as far as her cash accounts. And then they also want to know, as of today, what is the net worth of your mother's investments. If the answer is zero here, ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and put zero. Don't make up any numbers because we want to make sure the student gets as much aid as they can possibly get to attend school. So if these answers are zero, please do not hesitate to put the number zero down there in those boxes. Now we're going to go ahead and click on next. And as soon as we click on next, the system wants to know about the student's tax information. So if your child worked and they filed taxes, then they're going to have to enter their information. Let's say you have a student that did not work. That means they didn't file taxes. We're going to go ahead and solve for that. Now we're going to enter the student's financial information. And the system is going to want to know, were they paid child support? If this was not the case, then please don't answer anything here. Then they want to know about the untaxed income. And this is basically from child support received, housing, food, veterans, non-education benefits. If this does not apply to the student, please do not check anything here. Then it's going to ask for the student's information as far as their account information. What do they have saved? If they don't have anything saved, please don't hesitate to put a zero here because once again, we want to make sure they get as much financial aid as they can get for school. So now, since we've entered the information and we've clicked next, we're going to go ahead and sign and submit our FAFSA. So the first thing that we're going to do is sign and submit for the student. So make sure that the student's information here is correct. Now, notice that they're asking you for your PIN. This is the reason why I ask everyone to write their PIN number down at the beginning of the session because it's going to be very important that you keep up with that PIN because you can sign this application and have it processed with just putting your PIN in. Well, let's say you misplace your PIN. That's fine. You can still submit the application, but what's going to happen is you're going to get something in the mail and you're going to have to verify all of that information that you've put in on this application. Once you verify that information, you will actually sign and date it, and you're going to send it back. So as you can see, it's going to take them 5 to 10 business days to send that actual application to you. And then it's going to also take another 5 to 10 business days to get there. So that's almost a 2 week time period. But if you just go ahead and keep up with the pen, you'll be able to submit your information and they can go ahead and process it in 24 hours. Because as soon as you and your parent enter your pens and you submit, the next day they're processing this information and they're sending you information back to let you know that your information has been processed. Please wait for something in the mail to let you know how much aid you're going to be awarded. So this information right here is going to just be on the student. And make sure that you read everything before proceeding, because all of this information is going to be very important for the student. Once they've read, they're going to click on the radio button that says agree, and then you're going to be taken to the mother's information or whoever's information for the tax documents that were submitted. So the mother's social security number needs to be in, the last name needs to be in, the date of birth, and they also need to know their PIN. So yes, they're going to have to apply for a PIN as well once they are filling out the application for the student. Now, it is very important that you keep up with that PIN, and just like I explained before, if you don't keep up with the PIN, the process is going to take you longer to get money for school. And I like to tell people that financial aid for undergrads are really first come, first serve as far as your grant money. The faster you get your financial aid in as far as a undergrad student, the more money that you'll be able to receive. So with that being said, once you enter your PIN, you're going to go ahead and click on Submit My FAFSA Now. Now, you're going to be sent an email from FAFSA, and it's going to let you know that congratulations, we're going to be processing your information. Please give us 24 hours to receive another email. Once you receive that email, I do tell a lot of parents to make sure that you make a folder in your inbox and start saving all of your information for your child's FAFSA, because it's going to be very important that you keep up with this information. Because once it's sent to the school, you want to make sure that the school information matches your information that you were given from FAFSA. Remember, this is your kids' money to go to school. So with that being said, that actually ends our financial aid one-on-one course today for the parents and the students filling out your FAFSA. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email by sending the email to sgooms@claytonschool.org. Thank you for your time. Apply for financial aid.